No Shoes Nation, welcome back to the channel for not one but two concert reviews. March 23rd in Charlottesville, Virginia, and also March 25th at State College, Pennsylvania. Two shows over the weekend-ish that we're going to talk about today. Make sure to, if you have not yet, subscribe, stay close to the channel as we go through the tour, and hit that like if you do enjoy today's video. So let's talk about the first show, and that is the Charlottesville, Virginia show on the 23rd, John Paul Jones Arena, the kickoff, if you will, to the I Go Back tour. Yes, he was in Houston about a week beforehand, but there was no Kelsea Ballerini, and really with all of the social media that's been put out there, this was kind of felt like as the kickoff to the I Go Back tour, even though these are shows 2 and 3 for Kenny this year. So let's take a look at around the social media landscape. We have Kenny Chesney with some photos from Charlottesville. Looked like an absolute great show. God, you know, I wish I could have been there. And here is Bill Davidson on Twitter at bdavidson89 with some pictures from where he was sitting. Again, great shots of Kenny and Kelsea. And we have here from John Ferox on YouTube some summertime from Charlottesville. I mean, come on, you're in the front row. He was just there, he's in the front row. He went back inside the team because the front row was giving him nothing. Let's go, let's go. Anyway, let's continue. Let's talk more about this. This is from Country's Chatter, web blog. Kenny Chesney drops surprises on first night of I Go Back tour. After a ferocious bass drum trade-off by Harmony Kelly and Nick Buddha on All the Pretty Girls, tumbled into an aggressive Living It Fast Forward, Young and Noise, Chesney cooled the crowd down by sliding into the chilled D-sharp groove of Wild Child, which we haven't really heard on tour in a little bit without Grace Potter being there. It just kind of was one of those that sort of moved off the set list, and that brought in Kelsea Ballerini emerging from the wings in a red fringe top with matching red fringe stiletto knee-high boots to sing Grace Potter's signature ethereal harmonies. So a nice move here as we see Kelsea Ballerini make her debut. Now let's do what we're going to do. We are going to give the set list a grade. Let's take a look at the set list. First, we had Kelsey's set list, and this basically locked it in. If you're at the show, you know that she's coming out, and she's coming out with Kenny for their song together, because you did not see Half of My Hometown. You did not see an encore from Kelsea. That I was kind of surprised about. Kind of surprised that it was 11 songs. I know she doesn't have a very wide and extensive catalog at this point, a laundry list of hits, kind of like Kenny has. No, she's got a lot of hits. I'm not trying to take anything away from Kelsea, but she doesn't have the laundry list of hits that Kenny has. So 11 maybe seemed like a surprise that she didn't go a couple more, that she didn't at least go 11 and then an encore or two. But she did play her big hits, her drinking song, A Hole in a Bottle. You had towards the end, Peter Pan, which she has talked about as that was the game changer song for her. So she played that towards the end, and Miss Me More. So she, gave her crowd, gave her fans the songs that certainly they were there to listen to, minus Half of My Hometown, because obviously we all know that's coming later. Now, Kenny's side of things, Till It's Gone, Beer in Mexico, and then We Do in Here and Now get slipped in there. We did not see those songs at this point in the Houston show. Then Summertime Reality, Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven, Somewhere With You, I Go Back. I love that back. Somewhere With You and I Go Back. I love those always sort of being 1-2 right next to each other. Get Along, The Good Stuff, which again, this set list was good. After The Good Stuff, we go to Big Star, Save It for a Rainy Day. We got 25 songs, everybody. All the Pretty Girls, Living It Fast Forward, Young, Noise, and then here comes Kelsea Ballerini for Wild Child and Half of My Hometown. Now, my only gripe, and it's not really a gripe because I really do like this set list, I would have Big Star. Listen, Kelsea Ballerini is there with Kenny Chesney on this tour for them to be together. That's the whole point of this, right? Is so that Kelsea and Kenny can be there to sing Half of My Hometown. Listen, I'm thankful that we're getting Wild Child in Half of My Hometown, but it just feels like a natural tie-in for her to be there for Big Star as well. I don't know why we can't maybe slide that back and get 3. One more thing I'm surprised about. I'll get to that in a minute. After Kelsea walks off, we have American Kids. Seems like she could kind of hang around for that one too. I just feel like more than 2 songs needs to be Kelsea Ballerini. That's what I feel. And maybe as the tour evolves, that will happen. But I feel like there needs to be more than 2. Why doesn't she just hang out there and sing 4 or 5 songs with them? Setting the World on Fire. That's another one she could be out there with because that was a song that Pink sang. Everything's Gonna Be All Right. Out Last Night. How Forever Feels. And then he goes to an encore. Anything But Mine, Don't Happen Twice, and Beer Can Chicken. Beer Can Chicken, I believe it was sort of a combo with Don't Happen Twice. But this is a great set list. Setting aside the fact that I think Kelsea Ballerini could be included a little bit more, this is a fantastic set list. 27 songs. Goes above what we were seeing last year when he was back out on tour for the first time because of the pandemic, where he was going 25, 26. He went 27 here. And again, a Beer Can Chicken situation towards the end of the show. So technically 28. That's fantastic. We did see Save It for a Rainy Day, even without Old Dominion. So that's cool if you're a big fan of that song. So I really like, again, I like the blend of some of the old, some of the new. And we got a couple Kelsea Ballerini songs. I'd like it even more if we had a couple more songs. Again, you could line her up. She doesn't have to be out there for the whole thing. I understand that there are people that are only there to see Kenny Chesney and don't really care about Kelsea Ballerini, but you could line it up to go Wild Child, Big Star, Setting the World on Fire, Half of My Hometown. You could do 4 songs easily. Natural fit-ins. Just not happening yet. We'll see if it happens at all. Let's continue on to the next show. It was State College, Pennsylvania on March 25th at the Bryce Jordan Center. We have some clips from Bryce Jordan Center's Twitter account. Was very active, giving us some audio, giving us some access from their point of view for the show. Here was Kelsea Ballerini singing Heart First. Next up, here's Kenny doing Beer in Mexico. God, I love that song. And here we go to YouTube from Jason Jackson with some I Go Back. That's great. I like the crowd. The crowd seems really into it there too. Let's go back to the Bryce Jordan Center because this is the moment that a lot of people are going to be waiting for, anticipating about. The Kenny and Chelsea, Half of My Hometown. All right, so we've got the 2 of them there. Now, there was also a really cool moment because day of recording, which will actually come out the day after I record it, but we had Kenny Chesney's birthday. So here is a moment from the show when Kelsea stopped things to sing something for Kenny Chesney.
Thank you so much. I love you. I wish I could give you a hug, all of you.
Really cool moment. Really cool moment there. In celebrating Kenny Chesney's birthday with him there. Really neat. The set list. Now, you might remember, Jim, you didn't grade the set list from the previous show. Well, I was going to hold off on that because the set list was the same. When we go to Pennsylvania, it was the exact same situation, the same 27 songs, the same encore with, again, that beer can chicken snippet towards the end of Don't Happen Twice. Same song, same order, no surprises. Everything was what it was. Kelsea out there for Wild Child, and half of my hometown, the combo there. So same set list with the second show. And again, maybe that will change as we continue to grow the tour along. And again, Kelsea and Kenny get a feel for that on stage in front of the crowd moment. How they maybe want to change some things. Again, if they want to make her part of another song, whether that be in the middle of the show like she is now, or in the encore, she's got it. I feel like you could bring her back for the encore. That does not seem like something that is too complicated. I'd like to see that happen. I think that could be fun. So, what are we going to grade this out? I'm not going to. Listen, I really like the set list. Let me be straight up honest with you. I really like the set list. Setting aside the fact that I think there's more opportunity for Kelsea Ballerini, we will hold off on taking any points away from that. But on a 1 to 10 scale, 27 songs, a great mix of old and new. Some of my favorites are in here. Some of my new favorites, some of my old favorites are in here. There's really not a lot to complain about. I mean, seriously, I might give this thing, I want to give room to grow. I don't want to just come out here and say 10 out of 10. That'd be crazy. I'm going to give this thing, I want to give it room to grow. I'm going to go 8.9. 8.9? 9? 8.9? I'm going to settle on an 8.9. That's pretty high grade. I'm going to go 8.9, just one notch below a 9.0, because I think there is some room for this to grow a little bit. There are some, I'm going to give, when I do these grades for the set list, I'm going to give bonus points if he goes way back. If he pulls songs out that he hasn't played on tour in forever, that will boost the grade. If he can work Kelsea Ballerini into at least a third song into the encore somehow, that will boost the score. So considering this is a great set list, but it is also kind of what we have plus a song, right? I mean, again, we're going 26, 27 here. I think that we're at a good spot here with an 8.9 with room to grow with those two things in mind, right? If you have Old Blue Chair, that's not in here. There Goes My Life. Now I know he brings that one out on tour several times. You'll hear that, but you know, if you can add those in there, and again, if you go way back, if you grab a song that we haven't heard in a really long time, that might boost it too. So that is my reasoning for the 8.9. I want you to comment below if you were at either of these shows. Tell me what the vibe was like. Tell me what your experience was. How much fun did you have? A lot of the tweets that are out there talking about how Kenny hasn't been to this venue in 6,000 some plus days. Comment below. Let me know what it was like to have Kenny back at a venue that he had not been at in a long time. Now, next up, we got another sort of 2 shows in 3 days situation. So our next concert review will encompass 2 shows. We will be looking at Wichita, Kansas. That is set up for March 30th at the Intrust Bank Arena, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma on April 1st at Paycom Center. So if you are going to either of those shows, make sure to comment below and let us know that you're going to be there, and we'll keep an eye out for if you post anything on Twitter or if you post anything on YouTube. Maybe we will grab a clip or grab your tweet, your post, and feature you in our video next week. That is going to do it for this one, everybody. I appreciate you hanging in there. A little bit longer of a video than we normally do based on the fact that we're covering 2 shows. But I do appreciate you coming in, hanging out, spending some time with the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you have not yet, and hit that like if you enjoyed this video. Got to do all the YouTube stuff, right? Again, thank you for coming in, everybody. I hope you enjoy Kenny Chesney if you're able to get to a show. I hope you enjoy one of the concerts this year. I know I'm trying to get out to one. He's not coming anywhere near me. So I got to figure something out. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, everybody. Thank you for coming in, and I'll catch you next time.